All right, y'all, I'm back. It's the October series. I'm still in it with the one-on-one with the Supervillain series here on the Supervillain Squad on my Patreon. I just want to jump into this one because I haven't had a chance to talk to this man. He's been working and been busy, and we get to catch up. It's been a while. Mr. Chris Lee, what's happening, sir?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Crazy busy as always. Started a new job last month, which is why I missed our monthly chat.
Congratulations on that. You know, a new job is a good thing.
Yeah. Especially it gets me closer to my journalism roots. So previously I've been doing marketing for like the last 8 years, like social media, editing, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm working for in South Carolina, I'm working for like a publisher that has like 4 magazines and 2 newspapers. So I do all their digital content.
That's amazing. Congrats on that, bro.
Thank you.
I'm always happy to hear people who are, the expression of, if you do something you love, it's never like you're working, whatever that fucking statement is.
Yeah.
But you're doing something you want to do, so it's like it makes you feel good. It's not like just a regular job. This is a passion towards what you have. So I'm so happy to hear that for you, man.
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of a next step for me because the next step out is to be in a much bigger market. So LA, Chicago, New York, those kind of places.
I remember we talked about that. You wanted to come one of those markets. Have you started to really pinpoint down where you might want to go?
It's more of so the reason I took this job is because of how fast paced it was. Okay. Working with 6 publications. Also their daily traffic is around like 20 to 30,000 a day. So it's a lot of traffic to the website. So the next step is to start applying Disney, HBO Max, those kind of companies where I can use my marketing acumen and take this higher traffic that I'm now working with and go to that next level with that.
Dude, that sounds dope, man.
That's the next step in the next, 3 to 4 months while I do this for a little bit. If it goes longer, great. But, I'm mostly working at this point like 60 hours. So at some point, the burnout's going to be heavy with this kind of a.
And it's been a month, right?
Yeah.
Whew, man, let me tell you something, Fred. Look, I am no stranger to the word burnout. I got up this morning after working my bouncer gig, doing stand-up. So I had to work my bouncer gig on Friday. Saturday, I had to get up, do DC Fandom, do a one-on-one, go back to doing my bouncer. I had to go do stand-up, then go do my bouncer gig. Sunday got up, had to do a one-on-one, then go drive to San Diego to do a show. Waited to do the show, did the show, then drive back because like the drive is like 2. So driving there is like 2.5 hours. Luckily, I put on an audiobook for the first time ever. I've never driven with an audiobook. I've never. It was the first time ever doing it. And so, but doing all that, and then I got up this morning. I took my freaking anxiety pills late last night, like a dumbass. I took them at 3. Let me tell you a funny story what happened. So I've been trying not to constantly have to take my anxiety pills. I'd rather pull on my little weed pen that can help calm my nerves and go to sleep. I don't want my body to become dependent on it, basically. I keep switching it up. So I took my weed pen. I was lying down. I sleep on my hand sometimes, face down. Here's the problem with that. It's almost like, how if you squeeze a piece of string around your finger, the blood circulation get cut off.
Yeah.
So the blood circulation got cut off from my eye. I didn't know that. That's what I done. I woke up and couldn't see out of this eye. When I tell you I was freaking the fuck out. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. Was like, what the fuck? I'm blind. And then it slowly started coming back because the blood was flowing. So I say that because my nerves are bad now. Now my nerves are shaking. I thought I almost blinded myself. So I take my anxiety pills at 4 in the morning. They're supposed to knock me out for a minimum of 6 to 8 hours. Here's the problem. My first alarm is set on my phone at 7:30. I'm one of those people that have the multiple alarms set. That shit went 7:30, fuck you. 8 o'clock, kiss my ass. 8:30, nope. 9 o'clock, probably not. 9:15, maybe not. 9:30, all right, here we go. I finally got up, and then I was like, my body was just because it was forced to stay down.
Yeah.
And so again, I woke up, I was like, I can see. And so I was so tired, but I was like, I got to go to the gym this morning. because I was like, I got to work out. I'm trying to keep myself healthy and look like somebody special, I guess. Who the fuck knows? And so then I got out the gym right before this. Winston texted me, was like, oh yeah, he's like, I'm in the stream yard whenever you're ready. Fuck, we got to do the review for Doom Patrol because he had been gone all weekend.
Right.
So we just did the review for Doom Patrol. Now I'm doing this. After I'm done with this, I got to edit Doom Patrol and all of the ones I've done, the one-on-ones. So I say all that to say again, burnout and staying busy, I understand. As someone who has been told and knows he needs to rest, again, you're doing what you love and you're getting closer to it. But make sure it doesn't become your dream job doesn't become a nightmare.
Oh yeah, this is not the dream, but this is the next step to get to where I need to go. Because you can't automatically leap at certain times. You got to. It's always a progress.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
This
is true.
As much as you want to go from high school to the NFL, sometimes you got to go to college first.
Well, that's only because they made the rule. Let's just be real. That's only because they made the rule. If the rule wasn't there, all in like Iowa's, anybody from the Southern and Midwestern D-line and O-linemen, those kids would be gone right then and there.
Yeah. Well, especially because they need that NFL weight room anyways.
Yeah, you need that.
At the time you see these college freshmen, I'm like, you're not in the weight room. I'm a Gator alum, and so there's a defensive lineman that's 400 pounds. I'm like, that's all fat 400 pounds. He needs to, kind of thing,
Yeah,
like,
man. Dude. Yeah. So what else is going on, man?
Getting ready for Raw here in a minute. Don't know what to expect, other than we get the same tag team match we got last week.
I think, again, they're trying to. This is the one I was telling somebody this yesterday. Was it yesterday or Saturday? I was talking about it because they were talking about
Saturday was fandom.
Right. It was probably a little bit later on in the day after that because I was talking about it. And they were like how they didn't like the new look of NXT and everything and with certain matches we're getting. And I'm like, here's the problem y'all don't get. Somebody told Vince McMahon, stick to doing what you do. You're good. Instead of trying to compete against AEW. Because think about it, NXT, when it made that switch, when it made that Capital Wrestling look switch, that was to directly compete with AEW, right?
Yeah.
Just do what you do.
Yeah. And people forget, like when NXT was just on the WWE network, a lot of the television wasn't good because they were building people up. So there were squash matches all over the place. The way they were booking, then you'd have a good main event. And then that's the show that, especially in the 1 hour format, which was sort of the best part of that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just running through.
But people forget those little things. People are consistently thinking that NXT's always been at this level that it was. Like, no. NXT was a full developmental thing for the stars that come up to the main roster.
Go watch. Did you watch Seth Rollins 1-on-1 with Stone Cold?
I haven't watched it all yet.
Stone Cold. Oh, it's great because he kind of takes it to task. He's like, finally you go to WWE, and he was in the early FCW run before it was NXT. And he's like, I'm going from wrestling, PWG shows, pretty good sized crowds. And we're in this rickety ass warehouse in Tampa, Florida. There's no air conditioning in the thing. It's just like, what did I do? And then wrestling with guys that are green as hell. And he is not.
And that's the thing, too, people forget. Like, that's the one AEW will take established wrestlers and talent, right?
Yeah.
The WWE is like, oh, we'll make a star. Don't worry. We can teach you how to wrestle. We can teach you how to be.
Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
I mean,
it's been more hit and miss lately. And who would you say if Triple H was handling the transition where they go from NXT to WWE? He's like, here's how you book them the first month out. And they had like them ready to go. Instead, it's like Vince sees them for the first time and goes, all right, let's change this, this, and this. And it's like, well, the crowd ain't going to connect with that necessarily either.
Well, who do you think?
Like the Damian Priest stuff, they finally figured it out when they got him away from the Miz. They figured that out.
Well, I mean, they didn't have anything for him, though. That was the thing. They didn't have anything for him.
But the Bad Money thing was cool. I think if you had him with like a stronger heel, like say the Fiend wasn't like someone like that, that would have been a cool thing to kind of tie that in. because it was a good way to make him a star. But it's like it's the Miz, so we've seen that before, the gatekeeper role.
But I mean, there's certain talent that knows that that's their role. Dolph Ziggler has accepted that. That's one of the things I love about Nick. Like, everybody always hit him up like, yo, you should be a champ. This, that. And he understands he should be, but he also understands one of his main jobs is to keep putting people over. He's always going to be a star. He's to help make new stars.
Yeah.
And I would say, so I was going to ask, who do you think has been the least successful call up recently? And you can't say Keith Lee because Keith Lee is health.
No.
It's health issues.
No. I wouldn't say him anyway, though. I'm not a fan of the
Bearcat
thing. But anyways, I would probably say that the least successful has honestly kind of been like Rhea Ripley. She gets called up. She gets called up, and she has this groundswell, and now she's with Nikki ASH as a tag team.
Oh, not anymore. I don't know if they still tag team. They lost the titles.
I know, but
I mean, like
we don't know where it's going after. At this point, so that's one. But they also haven't called a lot of people up. They just held Austin Theory back up, which we'll see where that goes.
That was an interesting one for me. That was an interesting one for me. Like, I was like,
but that goes back to Vince's body thing. He sees a guy with the great body. He sends him back down a little bit because he pulled him up and then he pulled him back down, and now he's bringing him back up again. But at least Paul Heyman saw him too and liked him when he was managing Raw. Or was he when he was running Raw? That was when he brought up Austin Theory the first time.
Yeah, because
remember Theory had that weird
WrestleMania angle and everything. It was like, God,
and he wasn't ready.
He was it helped. Here's the thing. It was weird because it's like he wasn't ready, but the angle they put him in did make him ready. No. If that makes sense. Because again, it helped, for lack of better words, that WrestleMania was in a closed, contained environment. There was no fans, right? That's what WrestleMania was. Now, the angle you just threw him in, so everybody just had to hurry up and get used to him 3 weeks before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it didn't really have this. There was nothing to build with him. Like, of course, there's some WrestleMania matches should have at least 2 to 3 months coming out of the Rumble.
A build. Like the Edge Randy Orton thing.
Yes.
Like how that built and had layers to it and had different things. The Seth Edge thing right now. It's great storytelling.
Which is weird that they are doing a Hell in a Cell in Saudi Arabia. Like,
it's be hot as hell.
I just want to know how. Here's my thing with Hell in a Cells and steel cages. I've always said this. I feel like the purpose of those matches are to be violent and graphic, right? I hate to say it this way, but you need to see some level of blood happen. And I understand that, we don't want anybody directly blading, all this other shit. But if I'm throwing somebody consistently into a metal grate and rubbing them across, and I understand if it happens the hard way, but you kind of don't want that because the hard way can lead to a lot of shit going wrong, right?
Right.
But will they allow that in Saudi Arabia? The fact that the mere fact that the WWE has, like, we talk shit about the pay-per-view, right? It's a glorified house show. I call it WWE Blood Money.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah,
but we're getting the women's match is going to be the main event.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. See, I'm happy they're doing that.
I am too. Go ahead.
But I don't think anything's going to change from it with the way that they have the draft set to go. I mean, they're not going to change. I mean, even that's going to probably end with Becky retaining.
Or the only other thing I can see is Bianca gets the Raw title tonight.
Yeah, that could be an idea to do. Yeah.
I see Bianca getting the Raw title tonight because that's the only reason you would make that a main event. Because again, like you said, we already know what the draft brands are. We already know Becky is the SmackDown champion, but is drafted to Raw. But what happens is if you do it where now Bianca, if you do another winner takes all type match, and then let Bianca give up the freaking SmackDown title because she's on Raw, something like that. But I feel like you need something.
Well, what do you think of the draft overall? I thought it was weird the Charlotte going to SmackDown thing with. I thought that was a weird call to put her over there, because then it just kind of seems to set up Sasha Banks and Charlotte again, which we've seen.
I mean, which isn't a bad thing.
It's not bad. We've seen it before. Is the only thing.
But that's the thing. That's the problem, though. We've seen any high-profile women's match that they have now. Let's just be real. We've seen it before. We've seen it. I was so mad when Rhea Ripley came over. When Charlotte came to Raw, I was like, "Yo, keep them away from each other. Keep them away from each other, no matter what." They rushed into that Rhea Charlotte program real quick, right?
Unless you're going to have Rhea go over.
Unless you're going to have Rhea go over.
You can't push her up there and then beat her, because then she's automatically down forever. No one from that point forth is going to go, "Yep, she's at Charlotte's level." Yeah, that's done. Now
they killed that.
Unless they can completely repackage her character again, which Rhea already went for a repackaging. So I don't know what to do.
The only way you can do it,
she has to be on separate brands. She just has.
Or you can do it. You can unfortunately do an injury angle to get rid of her for a while. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You do an injury angle to get rid of her for a minute, so when she comes back, she can do this dominant. But again, if she goes against Charlotte, no matter what brand it is, now she's drafted to Raw, so they're separated regardless. But that doesn't make any sense anymore now to think about it, that she's drafted. So I digress.
Yeah, that was where it's like, okay, I get you want to continue Becky and Bianca Belair on Raw, so yes, please keep doing that one. That one's not done yet. We actually need an end to that feud. So.
You know what needs to really happen for me, and this might sound wild saying it, I think Dana Brooke, they need to give Dana Brooke an overhaul on a level we've never seen, because it's not working right now with her the way she is. You get what I'm saying?
Nothing's ever worked with Dana Brooke.
Exactly. Nothing's ever. They tried the Mandy Rose thing. That didn't get anybody over. That didn't, they made it seem like they were going to get the women's tag titles.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Some of the problem with her is she looks like Natty, and she cannot wrestle like Natty.
That is very true.
She can't. And so you put, they made the mistake of putting him as a tag team too for a while. And that was bad, because you got one that's a really good worker, one that is not, because she was pushed too fast in NXT too. She was in NXT and she was out in like 3 months. She was up. That was way too fast. And at least Eva Marie's dead. So
okay. Speaking of which, I don't understand for the life of me the shit they did with Shayna Baszler and Doudrop. I was like, wait, out of all people that don't back down from Shayna Baszler, Doudrop is the one
that doesn't. Yeah.
Like, not with everything you've done with her and the way you've made her be. If you were making her old character, her old gimmick, I could possibly see it, but this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with the Doudrop character as goofy as she is, you should just put her and Nikki ASH.
Call it a day.
It could be the goofy tag team, whatever.
It makes no sense. It's just so like, sometimes you wonder, what are they like? You have all these potential stars. That's when it comes to the women's division, right? But you won't get behind them to get them going. Like, I know you have to have the crowd get behind them, but you got to have these things happen where something will push them forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Liv Morgan.
And you have to give them a month to really push them. You can't push them for a week, and then the next week when they get a lackluster week, it's like, we've never seen you before. You have to give them a reason to stay involved. You have to actually, if it's a new talent, you got to push them.
Yeah, but people keep forgetting that. That. Like, why wouldn't you do that? And so it's Nobody.
Speaking of missed opportunities, this Xavier Woods Kofi thing that could have happened in King of the Ring.
I don't know. Look, we all know. I think everybody knows who has common sense. If you put Xavier versus Kofi, they're gonna have this. Let's just see who the better one. They just gonna go one up on each other. There's gonna be no hard feelings afterwards, right? Why not have it?
That's why. I've always wanted to see Woods get a big push. Like back when they were doing the feud with the Wyatts, and he was doing that in between thing, I was like, dude, if you could get behind this dude, he's got both of the things that Big E and Woods have. He has the athleticism, and he can talk and sell like a performance kind of thing at a big level. And there was a match, I think it was like right when AJ came into WWE, they had on SmackDown. That was like 18 minutes. And it was just like great. Coming from the TNA, because they're familiar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We forget about Consequences Creed versus AJ Styles. Like they know each other, so they know what to do.
And it was just so good. It was like, dude, see what you have in these guys. They're just so good.
But Vince,
at least they finally figured out Bobby Lashley too. It was like, what's he doing as the stooge to Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler and these other things forever? At least they finally figured it out. It's like, dude, just let him wreck people. Like what you see with Roman, just give that to him and then have MVP be your mouthpiece. It's really that simple.
Here's the problem with the Roman thing to me. This is the only problem. When he loses that title, right? And because he ain't losing it to Brock.
No, he shouldn't lose until Rock, though. If Rock's gonna wait till LA, which is 2023, then I don't know what you do at that point, because the initial idea was Dallas.
Right.
But now there's pushback that like they really want the Rock in LA. You also get the Samoan thing kind of in that area versus in Dallas.
If you do that, if you do Rock in LA, if you wait for it, nobody's gonna care. Because the only way that works is Roman has to drop it and at some point pick it back up then. He can't run with it all the way then. You know what I'm saying? He can't run
until 2023. No way.
There's no way. Not. He can't do
that. But 2022, he could. He can. He can for 2022.
I mean, we're in the middle of October. I can see him doing it because they've been basically.
Because you have Drew McIntyre coming up next, so you'll have a couple months where you can do that, and those should be killer matches.
Then you go,
because you take that show last year.
Yeah, because you'll take that 2-3 months. We'll take that because Survivor Series is out the question because it's going to be Big E versus Roman, right? So then you go whatever you're going to call whatever you decide to call the December pay-per-view. Then you go into the Rumble. The Rumble, then, do you have Drew win it again to challenge Roman at WrestleMania?
I think not. If Rock is going at WrestleMania and they are going to get him for next year, then I think whoever's winning the Rumble has to be challenging the Raw guy, whoever it is. I don't know if Big E is going to hold it that long. I feel like Big E is probably the one that they'll take it on and off. They won't treat him as bad as Kofi or Bianca.
Yeah, I feel like Big E is a transition, unfortunately.
But you could have it where it ends up being a couple things where you have a couple of triple threat opponents, and it goes between him and Bobby Lashley for a while, where it's those two kind of constantly in the mix. Because Bobby Lashley should kill Goldberg and just nuke him. I hate that match. I hate it so much. But everything Goldberg does hate in sports.
I saw that. I knew it was happening because, again, this is the whole. It's the Saudi Prince booking that. Like Vince, the Prince was like, I need these certain people. Like,
it's like the Undertaker, Kane, Triple H, Shawn Michaels thing. It was like,
we knew what that was.
Great.
We know what that was.
Yeah.
They were both like, hey, man, this is a $2 million payday. Let's go and get this money real quick. Cool. Goldberg should have never even happened at SummerSlam because Goldberg has this belief of, I'm still Goldberg from WCW. And everybody's like, bro, you're nowhere near that.
And he can't, even in WCW, he couldn't go more than 6 minutes anyways. Like he couldn't. He never had it. He could be
never
tough
had
as
the
hell.
cardio to go with.
He'd rough you up. But
he would have to be in control
if he's in the ring with William Regal.
Right. William Regal's like, oh, what you think? Because you get some people, and you know, again, it's called going into business for yourself. But sometimes I'm like, you got to show some people who get an ego way ahead of their time. Like, what you going? I'm William Regal. Cool. Okay, I'm fired from him. I'll be down the street. You know what I'm saying? I'll be down at WWE.
Yeah.
You need me. Like, all right, whatever. But Goldberg, you're predicating all of Goldberg's matches on Goldberg being carried the whole way through. And that's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? You're basing this like Goldberg gonna be carried, you know what I'm saying? Whoever he's working, they can carry him and blah, 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 blah. And like, that's not the best way to go about this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. Jinder Mahal's not winning this match, right? There's no way they're having to go Kofi, right?
You mean Woods?
No.
Is Jinder versus Woods?
Whoever
right?
Woods lost.
No, Kofi lost. Kofi lost.
Kofi that did?
Kofi lost.
It was. That's right.
Kofi lost. Woods didn't.
Oh, come. That'd be so cool to see Finn Balor and Woods just as a fun.
But
they're not going to do that. They're going to do Jinder Mahal and do the heel face thing.
I don't want to see. Please, God, don't make it Jinder Mahal. Please, God, don't make it Jinder Mahal. Please, God, don't make it Jinder Mahal. I can't say
one guy. I wish they gave John Morrison a push, like a serious freaking push.
I don't believe that the WWE believes John Morrison can be the guy. But it's weird.
I don't think he can be the guy either, but he could be an intercontinental U.S. champion guy that has great matches. If you watch him in stuff with like Matt Riddle and things like that, he can go.
I agree. It just feels weird. Okay, so it's Balor versus, oh my God. I would rather have Balor versus Xavier Woods, like you said, in the finals.
Yeah.
Give me, please, because Jinder.
Have that open Crown Jewel. You have a 12 to 13 minute fast-paced match, hard-hitting. That'd be the way I'd open that shit.
I don't want to see Jinder.
You remember when AJ was the heel against the babyface Jinder Mahal, and then he on SmackDown, and AJ got that title, and everyone just cheered the heck out of it.
Everybody was that
was so good.
It was sad because when first of all, let's just be real. When you saw Jinder Mahal pin, huh? I'm sorry.
Remember they did that because it was supposed to be the Raw SmackDown. It was heading into
Survivor Series. Oh yeah, I remember Survivor
Series.
But here's the thing. But no, because remember, let's go to the Backlash first when Jinder wins it because he hits the Colossus on Randy Orton, and everybody was like,
"He's gonna kick out, right?"
2, 3.
It was kind of like Hulk Hogan and Sting, when Sting and Hulk finally faced off, and Hulk just like pinned them. It's like, wait, that's how you did that after all?
Then everybody was like, "Oh, the WWE's going into India, so they wanted." Okay, cool, I got it. And as soon as that was like cool, it was like so. Survivor Series, right? And the WWE champion will take on the Universal champion, and the Universal champion is Brock Lesnar. So, do you really think we're gonna have Jinder Mahal versus Lesnar? Which here's the crazy part: I think we don't give Jinder enough credit. I think Jinder and Lesnar would have had a good match. The thing is, AJ is so much smaller, so Lesnar can throw him around.
I agree, but I think Mahal's the type of opponent because people are talking about this before. Lesnar will sell for you if he likes you and he respects you. I don't think he gives Jinder anything. I don't think he gives him anything. I think that's a 4-minute John Cena, not like smash at SummerSlam. Like he doesn't get anything in.
No, that
1 minute now. And I think Lesnar wanted a match at that point because he faces AJ, and then I think he faces Daniel Bryan.
Then he goes Daniel Bryan right behind.
A couple months, and that match was
because I know they said that I think it was Kurt Angle said that Brock called him, was like, "What about this AJ kid?" And because again, Brock don't pay attention to nothing.
But he sells that pretty well. But he seems to have pretty good instincts for a guy that doesn't pay attention because he knows when to turn it on and off.
I mean, again, for somebody who does like that's why for somebody whose contract right now has 3 more dates on it, like because that's it. Because everybody was like, Brock might win. Brock has 3 more dates. They signed that man for 8 dates. 8 dates, and they knocked 5 of them bitches out almost on SmackDown in SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all talking about?
But this is cool. I like that feud. It's cool. They'll go this pay-per-view and then one more to head up to Survivor Series.
No, they can't because Survivors. Because again, you can't have.
We still don't know if they're doing that yet.
No, it's been official.
We don't know if they're doing that with.
No, it's come out. It's come out. It's
champions.
confirmed. It's confirmed. It's confirmed. They're doing champion.
Guess you could do Roman and Big E. That could be fun.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be Roman Big E. But so that's
so then you could hold that off to Royal Rumble. Then you could do the follow up at Royal Rumble if you wanted to push it.
True.
Because I get they do a weird injury angle with Brock and then hold that back or something like that.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know what they're going to do because it's not going to be a clean finish.
No,
it's
that's what I'm
saying.
I don't see
anyway.
I don't see. Roman,
so you have to do another match at some point.
I don't see Roman pinning him, like straight up pinning him.
Yeah, and I really would hate that the first time they change a title and one of the that actually matters and one it is going to be here at Crown Jewel. Like that'd be just stupid. Treat it as the house show it is. Just treat it as.
So here's a question. No, because if you take it off, what about? Hear me out. What about Big E versus Brock Lesnar?
I don't mind that. I think that'd be fun to see. I just don't know if they're going to want to take it off Roman overseas. And that, I don't know.
I mean, again, I'm just looking at the possibility if they decide to say we're gonna do it real quick, just so Roman. Because again, title reigns now don't seem to mean anything in the WWE. You know what I'm saying? Because Charlotte is almost at her daddy's amount of reigns. If you're counting every time she's SmackDown and Raw title.
Well, what WWE counts as Ric Flair's rings. He has like 23, really, but
we only count Flair's reigns because you don't count nobody else's. I mean, well, no, Flair's total is like, because Flair's 16 times total. Flair's is 16 total.
Yeah.
Right. Flair's is 16 all around the board.
For what they for the WWE, yes. But if you consider like everything, WCW, all that.
No, it's 16. That's what they count. That's what it is. Yeah, it's total. It's his NWA, it's his WCW, it's 16 total. It's 16 total. Because he never held that fucking title in WWE 16 times.
No.
So, but here's the thing with Big E Brock. The only way that works, the only way Big E Brock works is Paul Heyman goes back to Lesnar. Because Heyman has to cut those promos. Lesnar can't do that against Brock because Big E will burn him.
Yeah, for sure. Although Lesnar doesn't even really need to talk. He could just show up and throw people around. He could throw the New Day around on SmackDown because the New Day is on his show.
Here's the thing.
He could beat them up. Yeah, but
let's just.
But then you turn him heel, and he's kind of a babyface.
Let's just be honest. I don't know about you. I've never been a fan of Brock Lesnar talking by himself.
Not in the ring. I like when they do the UFC style where he's backstage and they're like talking to him and he's like, I'm going to kill you. Like that kind of
works. That's a whole different ball
UFC
game,
shoot style.
Yeah.
But in the ring, no. I've liked him here opposite Roman, but that's because he just basically has to say, okay, I read over the contract with my advocate, Paul Heyman, today. And then that's pretty much all he has to say. But at least this is like seems to be playing more into like his general attitude, like the lumberjack kind of thing.
Oh no, what you mean lumberjack? That's Brock for real.
No, that's what I mean. That's like him through and through, like not the UFC fighter, none of that stuff. Like he's just tree trunk dude.
I don't know. It's just at the end of the day, we're not in the office with the book and all that other shit. But I guess it's just that there's a limit to what you can do with Brock because you know he's part-time for real. And there's getting ready to be a point where his part, like, because he's not old technically. You know what I'm saying? Brock is like only like
really 41.
Yeah, like
41. Because he was like 40 when he was like, yeah, I can't do UFC. I'm about to turn 40.
Yeah,
he signed a newer contract, and then
Brock's 41 and still looks good, and because of it being Brock Lesnar, doesn't have to do much, right? But Brock is still part-time. He cool with it because he know I make a bunch of dumbass money just showing up these random occasions, right?
Yeah.
The problem becomes we all realize though that Brock showing up shit is short, right? It's not gonna. They're not gonna keep doing that.
No,
they're not gonna keep doing. Did he just hit him with the Colossus? I'm watching it too because I'm really about to.
On mine, Woods is at the top rope.
Okay, so cool. You probably are ahead of me. But yeah, it's
I came down with the elbow.
Oh, that means it's over.
Yeah, he pinned him. Woods won.
Okay, cool.
I'm ahead by it's
you're ahead by like maybe a minute because right now I see Woods on the top. Yeah, I got Woods on top now.
Awesome. We get Woods Balor. Fantastic.
Which is going to be a good ass match.
Yeah. I swear, put that as your that's your opening match. Put that as your opening match. Get the thing going fast. No, fans aren't going to care who wins. So whoever wins, it's cool.
They're cool with the Prince intro, and then with all of a sudden, because you pump not even pump them up with the crowd with the match, but the introductions pump them up. Because Finn Balor still has his regular entrance that the crowd loves, and the New Day gets everybody behind him too. So, but look, let's get ready to wrap this up because I got to get ready to do another thing too. Chris, I always love talking to you because you got a lot of insight, man. You got that good journalism voice. Please tell the people how they can find you and everything that you got going on, my friend.
Yeah, you can find me at Chris_Intersect on Twitter, and I am the managing editor of the intersectionmedia.com, where I write about movies, TV, everything geeky. So let's hang out.
Make sure y'all check that out. Please do so. Y'all already know where to find me. We will holler at y'all next time. Don't go nowhere. I'll talk to y'all later. Take care. I'm out. Bye.